as the clouds go grey. The thunder roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. The sunlight it hides as the clouds make way.
Where no man is oppressed, and so to peace and plenty, Nigeria will be blessed. God bless Nigeria.
The NSITF can work with insurers and helping organizations protect against and manage health and safety risks by providing advice and guidance on assessing and managing those risks. More enlightenment is required to create awareness among the citizenry and educate them on the work of NSITF and how they benefit from the fund. We therefore commend the arrangement management of NSITF for taking these special day events to create much needed awareness at the 2024 Lagos International Trade Fair. And NSITF has been doing that, like I said, for many years, using this platform to educate us. And every year I personally learn a lot about NSITF every year during this event, even though I participated for the last 15 years. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all most warmly to the NSITF special day at this event, and I thank you for listening.
The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa FCA, the Deputy President, LCCI, the Vice President, LCCI, members of Council of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, invited guests, members of the press, and students, you're welcome, management and staff of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. I'm delighted to be here today with all of you at this year's trade fair organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries. It's a great opportunity to gather as a community, learn from each other, and showcase the innovative spirit that drives our industry forward. Trade fairs like these are essential because they not only allow us to connect with potential partners and clients, but they also provide a platform to enlighten prospective clients on the benefits of services we offer. It is a time for us to demonstrate our strength, learn about new trends, and also to understand the evolving needs of the market. This is a chance for us to strengthen our brand, expand our network, and learn from other leaders in the industry. The Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, the NSITF, was established by the federal government to provide social security and insurance for the Nigerian workforce and other vulnerable. The fund, which has a vision to be the leading social security institution in Africa, currently provides compensation for employees who suffer injury, occupational diseases, or death because of work, as established by the Employees Compensation Act, the ECA 2010. This act is not just a legal requirement, but also a strategic asset that can enhance your organization's growth, productivity, and reputation. And we have been delivering on this service since 2011. The act empowers NSITF to implement the ECA. This scheme is geared towards protecting the employees against accident, injury, diseases, or death arising out of or in the course of work. The employer contributes 1% of the employee's total emolument into the pool of funds. It is aligned with this year's theme, compliance, that we're here to partner with business owners in creating awareness for the welfare of the employees. Compliance with this act is not only mandatory, but essential for safeguarding the welfare of employees, serves as legal and financial protection for employers and boosting employee morale and productivity. The key benefits of compliance to the ECA are disability benefits to disabled employee, medical treatment for an injured employee, death benefit to deceased employees, beneficiaries, rehabilitation of disabled employee, provision of prosthetics, payment for loss of productive time to employer, encouragement of employers to implement and maintain high standards of occupational safety and health, and fostering of stronger relationship between employer and its employees. We're glad to report that a good number of employers nationwide have complied and keyed into the scheme, and we're working tirelessly to ensure that those who are yet to comply will do so as we continue to offer guidance and training to help employers and employees understand the obligation under the law and how to meet them effectively. In our renewed organization drive, we have raised the total enrollee figure to over 172,000 employers and 7.6 million employees. We've also compensated over 103,000 beneficiaries, disbursing a total of 6.6 billion naira as compensation to the affected employees. Please put your hands together. It is important to know that among the recent beneficiaries of the scheme, 111 persons have been assisted in artificial limbs and 11 others sent abroad for further medical treatment. Our performance is also one of the 2023 edition of the Nigeria Employees Consultative Association Award, NECA, in the Best Service Delivery category. Presently, we have established 14 regions across the nation to ensure easy accessibility by all employees, offices across the state. We've also invested in upgrading our IT platforms, public awareness opportunities, such as this, to spread our message across the board. The NSITF is committed to effective delivery of social insurance services, such as prevention of accident, rehabilitation, and compensatory services. We encourage you to reach out to us for any clarification or support you might need. By working together, we can create safer, more productive workplaces across the state and Nigeria as a whole. Let us continue to work together in building a safe, productive, and compliant workforce in Lagos State and in Nigeria as a whole. The Nigerian Social Insurance Trust stands ready to support you every step of the way. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And I also want to encourage you to contact the nearest NSITF office for further details. Thank you very much. NSITF,
Pensions PLC. So from 2004 to 2010, we call it a transition period. We were trying to shake off the pension management and take on a new code, social security insurance. And then in 2010, the Employees Compensation Act was enacted. So over the past 50 years, NSITF has evolved from a provident fund scheme to a social insurance scheme and is currently operating what we call an Employees Compensation Scheme. The ECS was signed into law by the then President, Dr. Jonathan, on December 17, 2010. But implementation of the Act commenced from July 2011. Employers were given a 6-month moratorium period to get their books in order and get ready and it was expected that by July 1st, 2011, all employers of labor were to register with the Employees Compensation Scheme. So what's Employees Compensation Scheme? What is it all about? What's our aim? What's our objective? What we do is to compensate workers who incur accidents, injuries, disabilities, occupational diseases, and even death in the course of employment. So that's our first aim. Section 1 of our Act, it's Section 1. That's our objective. And that's why we're here today. Now, we also aim to achieve nationwide social security coverage, sustainable service delivery. We also promote workplace safety, effective stakeholder engagement, so those are basically our objectives. So let's talk about what your stand is as an employer under the PCS. First of all, contribution is by the employer. By Section 33, subsection 1 of our Act, it's expected that every employer of labor, Section 73 states that an employer is defined as anyone under the federal, state, or local government. It could be in the informal sector, in the formal sector, public, private. It even describes it down to even a domestic servant. So although we haven't reached that stage, I'm just trying to explain the scope of this Act and who it applies to. The only exemption under the Act are members of the armed forces. So it's a mandatory scheme, as our executive director stated. It's mandatory, but NSITF, we choose the medical expenses of the employee, then we refund the employer using the standard medical tariff. Now, I left the dependents for the last because for me this is the best. My scenario earlier was Stanley. So now, dependents can claim only in death, as stipulated under Section 17 of our Act. Now, as I said, Stanley had 3 children. Under our Act, if an employee dies in the course of work, if he has 2 or more children, NSITF pays 90% of the salary of that employee to the family. So for instance, if that employee earns 100,000 monthly, his wife or spouse and children will continue to receive 90,000 naira every month up until the last child turns 21 or graduates from university. It doesn't end there. Even when the last child graduates from university or turns 21, we continue to pay the spouse a certain percentage depending on the status of the spouse, but the minimum percentage is 60% of the employee's salary, and it's for life. We therefore urge you to enroll in our scheme, the Employees Compensation Scheme, in order to take full advantage of all the benefits. Remember that it's our collective responsibility to ensure that employees are protected from workplace injuries or illness through robust safety measures and social security schemes. NSITF has a commitment to employees' welfare. Thank you very much.
We have done quite a lot with compensation from the inception of the fund. We have paid out thousands of compensation and claims to most employees who actually filed and completed their claims to the fund. We have processed a lot of prosthesis cases. We have paid a lot of debt benefits. We have even taken some employees abroad for treatment. Our records speak for us. And like I said earlier, that we have expended a whopping sum of 6.6 billion naira in terms of payment of claims and compensation to those who have filed in for their claims. And we're not stopping there. We're trying to see how we can also expand our, how our deliverables to the people who actually have registered with the fund. For example, the people who have permanent disability, we're trying to see how we can help them to transform, and to also adopt their new roles as not being able to perform, like they used to be. We're not leaving them with their dilemma or their liabilities. We're trying to see how we can help them acquire skill acquisition, and then give them startups so that they can actually, be useful to themselves and their families. We've done quite a lot, and I'm proud to say that the fund has been able to reach out to a lot of Nigerian employees, and of course, to give their family also welfare support. SMEs, that's the small medium enterprise of any economy across the world, is actually the bedrock of the economy of that country. They are not to be looked away from, because they actually are the support line for the major economy of that country. Where the fiscal economy is failing, the small medium enterprises are the ones that pushes the economy of that country, to forward. But here we are trying our best to engage the association heads. We're doing stakeholders engagement. I think recently the informal sector department of the NSITF had some engagement with the road union workers here in Lagos. We're going around the country to all the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria so that we can engage with the people at the downstream, their heads, the unions, the association heads, like some of these business holders, the organizers, the mechanics, the artisans, the association of the fashion designers, and all of these people. They are actually the most vulnerable people in our society. So it's also very important for them, because when there is a fatality, or there is an accident, or there is maybe, God forbid, a situation of permanent disability or even death, they are the ones that actually lose out. But when they know that there is a fund, there is an organization that caters to their welfare, God forbid something happens, their life can still go on, their family will not be dejected as a result of the fatality, then they will be able to actually key in. So we are also strengthening and expanding our media reach and expanding our advocacy programs so that they can understand it. It's an orientation thing. When people begin to see the benefits that is happening, that's why we're here today, to also display who we are and say to everybody that we are here, and everybody's welcome on board. Sometimes they feel that it's for the bushes, it's not for them, but we are trying to close this gap and say this is for Nigerians, this is by Nigeria, and it is for Nigerians. So these things with time, I'm sure will be a thing of the past. You will see all of them coming on board. Things that we do is to come up with, we use our legal department to bring up litigation. And of course there are caveats. There are caveats, and there are ways by which we try to manage in such a way that we don't lose relationship as well. What we just need to strengthen is our relationship and how, our reach, and make people to understand it. We feel that when employers don't understand that when they key into this process, this ECS, it's actually to their own advantage, because what it means is that when they key into the ECS, they are ceding their problem. Make I talk am for grassroots. They are ceding their problems to us to say, hey, these are my people, these are my employees, we're handing over our burden. Should there be anyone to you, the NSITF, to help us to take care of our staffs or our employees? So when they're not doing this, it's actually, a way of shortchanging themselves. They'll be shortchanging themselves. But we don't want to throw the, bathwater away with the baby and say, okay, because we have, caveats and because there are implications. We're trying to still foster our relationship because it is an appropriation and it must be, it must be done. Yeah. Thank you.
Honorable Mujisolo Oluwa Ali Macaulay Esquire. I'm the Executive Director of Operations of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF.
Yeah, my name is Aboma Okorafo, Regional Manager, Mainland Region of Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF. The processes are very simple. It's a simple process. If you are registered with CAC, if you have your tax clearance, then you come to any of our offices. We have 60 offices in Nigeria and maybe 16 regional offices. So when you come to any branch of our office, you submit those documents and the process starts. It's so easy. But now you pay 20,000 naira to register as an employer and key into the scheme, and then you will start enjoying the benefit. So fast that you pay, you must pay for your employees. The process is very simple.
The 20,000 cover the corporate administration of that institution. The employee, how many employees enjoy this?
If one, just one. If you have one, you are entitled to register. Then, if you have 100 employees and something happens, you enjoy the benefits.
But the 20,000 is a flat rate for
It's a flat rate for everybody, so yes. One. Irrespective of the number of employees you have in your organization.
Now, they are doing this without...
But if you have subsidiaries, you register for each subsidiary. NSITF is different. First and foremost, is a mandatory scheme that sets us apart from other insurance companies. Two, when you talk about insurance, insurance is segregated. There are type of people that enjoy the benefits. But in NSITF, everybody, so far as you are an employee, from the cleaner down to the managing director, will enjoy the benefits. We are not the same. From, as you've seen today, from the presentation, from the enlightenment scheme, you can see what people have to get when they key into the scheme. That is the beauty of Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund. Thank you very much.
Okay. My name is Chinya Lubosu. I'm the Principal Manager, Legal, Lagos Regional Office. Okay, so as our Regional Manager stated, what the employer is expected to do is to pay 1% of the total emolument of their staff to the fund, and this payment is meant to be done monthly. So what we expect is that the employer first of all registers under the fund. They're supposed to have registered from 2011, but if they haven't registered, they can still register now. Now, registration just entails paying a token fee of 20,000 naira. It used to be free, but as at January 2024, we've started charging for it. So they pay a token of 20,000 naira. They bring their CAC certificate. If they have a tax clearance, they can bring that, and then what we call a payment schedule. Every month, the employer is expected to bring a monthly schedule of all their employees. So under the Act, there's no specific number of employees that employer must have. So even if it's just yourself, if it's a one-man business, you register for yourself. And that's basically all. It's a very simple process.
So as a private person who runs his own business, sole-man business, he can register for himself and also follow the same procedure.
Yes, exactly. So he'll bring his certificate, a business name certificate, and register. It's the same process.